KingCartoonMan is the channel where I make fully animated or live action content, screen tests, trailers, and more. I made this channel because I wanted to become a full-time filmmaker so that I could later on get my very own animation studio where I should be making television cartoons and feature films.
When I first started out, I've been doing nothing but drawing pictures, most notably the same character repeatedly from my childhood.
But as the years went by, I decided to get into animation after I watched a documentary on claymation on the streaming service. And after I saw the documentary, I decided to do a piece of claymation myself, and that's also in stop motion. And when I released it, it came out great. Well, maybe it was dated, and it's no longer available for the phone I got right now, but it was great. And it gave me confidence in animation. During that time, I was adding something that I haven't done to my previous 8 small cartoons, such as storyboards, backgrounds, clay models, and even more characters. After the first round of 26 small experimental short films, I got an iPad for Christmas, and it was time that I transitioned to hand-drawn animation.
By the time I tried 12 frames per second, I started practicing on lip syncing. It was during that time while I was making the 139th bumper, Bed Outgrowth 6, I was thinking, what could I do if I started making longer films?
By the time I was finished making my final mini cartoon in general, I decided that I have enough materials to work with and enough animation techniques to work on my first legitimate full-length animated cartoon. When I stopped making short films for social media, I decided to put my foot down and start making some full-length real animated cartoons made exclusively for the internet.
For the title of my first ever cartoon, I went to an actual pet shop for inspiration and called it Pet Store. Of course, I had to split into 2 different shorts, and as a result, the first cartoon was a pilot to my first series, Luke and Friends. While I was making this film, I was also creating a channel called KingCartoonMan. I got the inspiration from a TV series where a guy presents a short film from a projector or television set. So after the release of the film, I went to make my second cartoon to expand my first one.
So 2 years later, my film, my first full-length animated film, was entered at the awards ceremony that specializes in art. So that film won me the Gold Key Award for Best Animated Short, and that Gold Key alone was enough to spark interest in me in creating another animated short, sparking out biotechnology. And that also got me an award. And well, it's not another Gold Key. I had 2 other short films that were also nominated but didn't win. So, Barking Out Biotechnology was an award winner nevertheless.
Since then, I made 9 more cartoons, with the first and last being the Green Dimension films. While most of these cartoons can be dated, especially the live-action animated hybrids, they still show that I'm learning because I was a beginner at the time.
So after my 11th cartoon, I decided to make another animated series called A Fake Life Show, where it's about 2 characters named Garen and Juventus who go on random adventures that are actually loosely based on my life.
It was made because I wanted to practice animating human characters. Like Luke and Friends, this show can be dated, but I'm improving my animation skills for the first time.
About a total of 7 animated cartoons were made during its original run, one of which marking the return of my first series, making it the first ever crossover of my channel.
While I was making several cartoons for both shows, I was experimenting on other mediums: stop motion, mixed media, and computer animation. The first cartoon to use stop motion was a new Luke and Friends Christmas special. However, the rest of the 3 Luke and Friends episodes were mixed with hand-drawn animation as usual.
The most hopeless cartoon that I have ever made under my lineup is Crazy Limbo. Sure, it's got some good elements in here like traditional cutout stop motion, digital cutout stop motion, and even my first use of computer animation.
It's the production that I was struggling a lot on, as I had to figure out what scenery should the footage look like, rushed to the production, and barely checked any other animation errors or audio errors whatsoever.
The only other production that has the same issues is Barking Out Biotechnology. Now, that film is a passion project of mine, and that's all I can say. Now, while it does have some issues like a large amount of editing, story problems, and the denoising on the CGI, it's still marginally better. And I was practicing to make the animation a little bit more fluid, like appendages, the car, and even the use of rotoscoping.
As I was making Barking Out Biotechnology, I discovered something new that will be something of a game changer for me. Computer animation.
When I first got my own computer back in 2018, I was very inexperienced with CGI because all I can think about is hand-drawn and stop motion. But as the years went by and I carefully learned how to do something like this, I thought about making the first full-length computer animated short film by myself.
After creating the first pieces of computer animation on Barking Out Biotechnology and Crazy Limbo, I decided to make the first animated short that uses computer animation called Reindeer Jailbreak, which is about a group of reindeer trying to rescue a baby that was mistakenly taken to prison.
So in this film, I created everything in each scene that just so happens to be made on a computer. And this includes props, visual effects, physics, settings, and even the characters.
So the film took me about 3 months through summer and was released a month later to great success. A similar process happened to the second computer animated film, A Lovely Christmas Couple. Only this time, despite only having a few scenes being rushed, at least it has a higher quality and the environments were much more bigger than last time.
Meanwhile, there was only one cartoon that has yet to be finished but never got released, and that film was called Swimming Race. Production started after the success of Strict Teacher, and it was originally titled as Workout Adventures. Also, this hand-drawn CGI hybrid was going to be released at the summer of 2019, but after so many animation problems and a lot of failed CGI tests, I think it's best to put production on hold and save the title of Workout Adventures for another cartoon as a prequel.
The one cartoon that helped me practice on animating characters much more smoothly is Chuck and Larson, the film that is so good that it became the first one to ever receive a theatrical release, because it managed to become a critical and box office success and even helped me win an award at the talent show. This was because it was one of my first few attempts to become famous before I actually get a job.
In conclusion, KingCartoonMan isn't as perfect as anyone think it is, but deep down, it is the most creative, well-written, greatly animated, and amazing cartoon channel for those who love animation.
Whether it be starting out small to climbing up the ranks or gradually improving over the years from series of experimental and simplistic yet jerky pieces of animation to a collection of longer, full-length animated cartoons where they absolutely hold up to this day. If you're in the mood to watch some of the cartoons of my channel, go do yourselves a favor and subscribe to my channel, and please click the bell icon to enjoy some of my fabulous creations and more.
And that was the story of King Cartoon Man and how I came to be. Until next time!